is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. To learn more about Next Level Loan Officers, go to becomennl.com.
Hello, everybody. Sean Zomanoff and Shane Kidwell here with the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. You know, Shane, this is the #1 podcast for loan officers by loan officers throughout these great lands. And I'm darn glad that you're on here today, man. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. I call this S squared, and there's a lot of power in that. Man, you know what? We are the #1 podcast because we are originators. And nobody likes to be talked at by somebody who isn't in the trenches, feeling what they're feeling on a day-by-day basis. And so I think that really it's a testament to all of the people that we bring on as guests, because they're guys and gals just like us. They've got something they've executed at a high level. They're doing something unique, something cool, have a differentiator, and they're willing to share that with the market. So that's, I think, why the podcast is #1, and it will continue to be because of people like today's guest,
Fredo Rivera.
Fredo Rivera, my coffee brother from the West Coast. I feel like I should be playing like Tupac's California Love right now, dude.
Do it.
I'm really partial to Fredo. When we first met, I just got to say a quick story. Fredo came to one of our live events. And sometimes, like, you know, we have these events to take you through a journey. Yeah. It's like the basics of blocking and tackling. And then Fredo rolls in with his notepad, and we're talking like high level calculus questions. And I'm still in like math 99, you know, like the algebra in college. Yeah. And he is like, and so what I quickly learned about Fredo is he has an intense like desire to execute at a perfectionist level, which I can relate to. I love, and I'm rarely on the other side of myself. And so I was like, holy cow, this is how people experience Shane Kidwell. Yeah. So Fredo, my man, it is awesome to have you here. We're so thankful that you came on.
Yeah, thank you so much. #1 podcast. Happy to be a part of it.
Fredo, and I appreciate that you could give Shane the Shane experience, because we need a little bit of that.
Everybody needs that in their life, right?
Well, it's not always great, to be honest with you. Not everybody appreciates my style.
I wasn't saying that it was. It's nice to give Shane that reality check.
I think we're just misunderstood, right? Yeah. But guys, I'm really excited to have him on. I know Sean is too. Fredo, before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes, give our audience the back of your baseball card. And what I mean by that is not necessarily your numbers. Who are you? How did you get here today? Like, what are you passionate about in your life? And then we'll get into some of the stuff that you do at an extreme high level.
Oh, well, great. Yeah. Well, so who am I? I'm just a guy that loves coffee, the beach, San Diego. Moved here, man, back in 2003, and literally built a life here. And so everything basically flows out of that. Just my love for, you know, just my community and everything. So, started in 2003 working for a broker, and kind of been in the loan business ever since. Had some bumps and bruises along the way, but it's funny. I tell people I'm a geek with a personality, because I really love this business. I really love numbers, and I really love helping serve people. So that just comes through, and you know, learning lessons and helping people along the way.
I understand you with, I mean, the geek, the nerd side. Like, I like to get into it, Fredo. I'm right there with you. Yeah. Shane, you don't need to say anything.
I mean, we're all geeks on this call, man. I mean, my love language is digging into technology and like, I remember we were talking at one event. You started talking about a technology that was like your virtual dashboard that aggregated multiple technologies on one page, and I'm like, I literally like started to just get rosy cheeked, and it was like, guys, and if you don't know Fredo, look him up on Facebook, and you'll find him posting pretty much every day with the hashtag "You should live here." Yeah. And I tell you what, it works, because my wife and I keep saying, you know, man, we hate the weather up here in Seattle. Similar politics. If we could get similar politics, better weather, what are we doing? And then I said to my wife, I just saw Fredo post, and it was a sunrise. There was the beach. Yeah. And you, like you said, you made it your home, and you did, and you, man, just embraced it. And you are like the true San Diegan, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what a financial planner told me once? we were talking about, or some presentation, and he's going like, he's like, do you know what the average weather in St. Louis is? And do you know what the average weather in San Diego is?
Yeah.
And so evidently, we have some pretty extremes on each end of that, but our weather average is the same.
Yeah.
And their whole pitch was, we try to make your portfolio look more like San Diego than St. Louis.
I love that.
Yeah, that's funny. You know what? I tell people that all the time, that you should live here. And I just started saying it, and people that, just barely met me or I would come in contact with, they would tell me that. And I'd be like, you know what? I think I'm onto something. And so I just push it really hard because I believe it from my core that you should live here, right? There's other parts of the states that, the country that are fantastic. But I mean, I'm just really super passionate about my home and serving people here. So, that's the message I just want to put out.
Yeah, I think I'm already taking lessons, and I like to always just jump in and remind the audience lessons to write down. If you are not passionate about what you do and where you do it, you are doing the wrong thing in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And like, you've got to be passionate about, especially now as we are being reborn as an industry, and version 2.0 of the mortgage industry is starting to take shape, and it's going to be very different.
Right.
Well,
I mean, our job's hard enough. I mean, the reality is that you have to find joy in it. Right. And so, I mean, wherever that comes from, maybe you love to be in the Bay Area, or maybe you want to be in Seattle or St. Louis, whatever the case is. But what's that thing that's going to drive you? It's going to push you forward, because that's the infectious part, right? If you can deliver that to people, a lot of times it doesn't matter what your rate is, right? They just say, hey, I want to be in business with this guy. I resonate with this person. And, people really can get around your story because other people share your same story. And, those types of people want to group together. So that's what I try to do.
I love that, man. Well, listen, you're a man of humility, but you've won awards. You are known throughout the country as just a broker who does things the right way at a very high level.
Right.
And what I would love for you to share with the audience is, and I asked this question, kind of knowing what you know now.
Sure.
What would you tell Fredo 5 years ago? Like, what would you say, brother, you're doing it wrong. You're focusing your time here. You should be doing this, use this technology. Like, what would be the top few things you would share with your former self to help get to where you are sooner? And I'll just say that again, like, knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently? And not necessarily what would you have done differently, but maybe what would you have done sooner or more of?
Great question. So the first one I would double down on my level of service towards people. Before, it was very transactional for me, when the reality is that I really needed to double down on building my sphere of influence. Because those are the ones that's the business that comes a lot easier than the people that don't know you, don't love you. And you got to start building something with them. So that'd be the first thing. The second thing would be that I would have doubled down on my technology stack. I already kind of started it, but I would have put more emphasis on it to build a process that is like Amazon, where it's just you click the button and you get that experience that you want each and every time. I would have started those two a hell of a lot sooner than I actually did.
It's funny you bring up Amazon. We talk about in our live events that we teach. An interview that I saw with Jeff Bezos years ago.
Yeah.
And they were asking, what's he focusing on that's changing in the market, and how they're going to adapt to that in 10 years.
Right.
And he's like, that's a great question, but what we actually focus on is what's going to be the same in 10 years and how we do that better.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fredo, when you talk about tech stack and like the technology you focus on, guy or gal gets on this podcast and they've seen half of their business, if not more, go away. Their manager came back to them and said, hey, we're going to have to cut the budget. Rightly so. The market's down. Where would you focus your efforts and your energy in regards to that technology that really like is a differentiator for you?
First thing I would do is Bombbomb. Bombbomb is freaking amazing. Loom is also really good. You got to pump out as much contact. You got to have as much touches on people as you can possibly do each and every day. Our ATMs, right? We got to talk to people. We got to get in front of them. So how do you do that? you really do it with technology. So Bombbomb is fantastic. I would record a video every single day. I mean, maybe twice a day, and then send it out to your sphere of influence. Come up with solutions, something funny, anything to kind of just get in front of them, to let them know, hey, I'm still here. I have solutions. I have a great attitude, because a lot of people, they don't right now. They're in this poverty mentality. The sky is falling. And listen, my business has been affected too, but I choose to have a good attitude. And when I don't have a good attitude, I work on it until it's good. So that's the message that I try to get out of there. So the first thing is get in front of your people that know you and love you, and do that with the technology. So I would do that with Bombbomb first. The second thing is just really, you got to pick up the phone. You got to get in front of these people, and you got to start setting these appointments and asking, how can I help you? I mean, technology is great because it makes our business a heck of a lot easier in certain ways. But the reality is that it's a people business. You have to get in front of people, and then you got to ask for the order. And I think people lose that because they just throw content out into this black hole and think it's just going to come to them. And maybe that's how it was for the past 2 years, but that's not what's happening right now. Got to get in front of our people. We got to do it with technology, and we got to talk to people and ask for the order. So that's what I would do immediately for people where their business has been cut in half or 3/4. That's what I would do right now. And that's what I am doing right now, actually.
It's awesome that you said you have to ask for it. So I encourage every single person to be very detailed in what we're doing, how we separate ourselves from the competition. And we're really clear that we're doing this to earn your business. We're asking for that business. So many people don't ask, or, I've got something I'm actually sharing inside of Top Producer Huddle today. It is just a little marketing piece of what average lenders do, what great lenders do, and what we do. And the problem that, a lot of loan officers have, a lot of amazing loan officers, they're probably doing even more things, a couple of them might be, that I'm going to put on for what we do. But you get pre-approved somebody, you go all the way through, you help them get their offer accepted, and then they shop you at the end because you didn't do the things that you needed to up front. You just let yourself be a commodity. And so, like with all the things we do with our cash offers, with our 5K guarantees, like we tell people all about it. We pump them up and get them excited. And then we let them know, hey, if you need to shop, go ahead and shop now. Because you have to commit to us in order to get these things done in your world.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Have you ever had a friend that knew you were in the business, loved you, would do anything for you, and then they got a loan from somebody else?
Unfortunately, yes.
But I've been doing it long enough if that's not the case.
Well, I mean, I think everybody's experienced that, because just because like you need a relationship, because when you have the relationship, the trust comes sooner. They'll follow your guidance. So that piece is absolutely necessary. But you can have a relationship and you still won't get the business if you don't ask for it. That's why we got to get in front of these people and take that next step.
I think Fredo and Sean, one of the things that we're kind of talking around is this notion of having things that replace you versus having things that supplement and support you, right? And so if you're going to have a high quality process, how do you communicate that? Well, you don't remove yourself from that communication. You enhance your communication through technology, right? Like Loom, Bombbomb, having interactive PDFs, a good website, a social media presence. These are all tools that should be used in addition to your personality, in addition to your hustle. So like for Fredo, for Sean, for we're going to talk about our value propositions. We're going to communicate the things that we do well, but we're going to leverage the technology to enhance what we do, not replace us. And I think over the last couple of years, everyone was so busy tripping on refis. You go, gosh, if I could just get a tool that removed me from fill in the blank, the intro call, the follow-up Wednesdays, the post-closing campaigns. And so what we all felt and guilty, we fell into the trap of, and you almost had to do it because you literally would trip over too many deals. You had to try to replace yourself. Now we do not. Now we have to really renew what we were good at from the beginning and enhance that with technology. And so if you're not using a video service like a Bombbomb, now, hell, if the story you're telling yourself is, I don't have the money to afford Bombbomb, so I can't do video, you probably have a cell phone. You're probably listening to us on that cell phone. And those camera phones and the audio are so good now that you don't need anything else.
Shane, you were too nice. If you can't afford a service for $30 a month, quit the industry right now and go do something else.
Yeah.
You're not wrong on that.
Yeah. One of my biggest things was when I used to shoot videos, like I drink a lot of coffee, so sometimes I can have a little bit of a shaky hand, and the video would come out like I'd be so I forgot what the word, but I'm sending out these shaky videos.
Jittery,
right? I'd be super jittery, and then people would make fun of me about it, but they'd still watch the video.
But they're talking about you,
right?
And
I'm the jittery loan officer. Hey,
if you create content to avoid having people comment about you, you're completely missing the goal of creating content. And I think so. So Fredo, you mentioned two things: A, technology. Well, B, technology. A, having that process, that experience, getting on the phone, being in front of people, having that just really dialed in. I think another thing that you've done very, very well is built an online brand and an online presence through consistent social media marketing.
Right.
If you could just for at least a couple minutes kind of touch on your strategies and really what you want to do in that space, because I see you everywhere. I just pulled you up on my phone, and of course you have videos, you have posts. It's all super positive, and it's you. It's not something that's pre-generated by a company for $97 a month.
Right. Hey, so Fredo, before you step into that, let's give everybody a pro tip, because the three of us all do a fair amount of video. Your jittery, shaky, whatever video, as long as you have good audio, will be forgiven. So
you will.
So Fredo, jump into it, but make sure your audio is good. The rest doesn't matter near as much.
Yeah. So the reality is that I try to post every single day, and I do 2 for them, 1 for me. And I think you guys preach that from the pulpit, a lot. So I put what's happening in San Diego, stuff that I'm passionate about. And it's funny because Gary Vee told me this years ago when I went to a conference, and he said, listen, if you don't personally resonate with it, it's going to break. It's not going to come across to your audience. So I put out content that I'm super passionate about: coffee, the beach, living here in San Diego, my family, my faith. So I put that out as much as humanly possible. And I don't make I don't care who I mean, I am who I am, is I guess what I'm saying. I'm proud of it. So I put that out first, and then I put out content that I think people will resonate with, right? With the sign of the times, with what's happening now with inflation, with interest rates. There's a lot of people wondering if it's a good time to buy, if it's a good time to still refinance. Are there still programs? There's still a lot of misinformation. So I try to put that out as much as humanly possible and to stay consistent. I mean, that's literally what you need to do, because if you don't, they're just going to forget about you.
So it's so important to be true to who you are.
Yeah.
You talked about earlier about your circle of influence, the sphere of people. Yeah. And you know what? You're probably 40% of people, on no matter what you say, on a good day, are going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
But you get raving fans with the other 60%. Yeah. If I did loans for, even 3% of people in America,
right.
I'd have the largest origination business in the world. And so if you're passionate and you're creating a positive message, don't go crazy down any deep end. But if you're creating a positive message, you get your tribe, and your tribe refers you.
That's it. I mean, listen, I think it's crazy, but not everybody wants to be my friend, right? So I don't worry about the people that don't want to be Fredo's friend. I worry about the ones that know me and love me and, hey, do want to digest my content, do like coffee, do like the post from San Diego. And those are the people that I try to focus on, because again, it's coming from a place that of authenticity, something I truly resonate with. And I'm not the only one that likes that stuff. There is a tribe out there. You need to find it.
So Fredo, you touched on something earlier that for those that don't know Next Level or don't know it well, you may not have heard of the term ATM. Yes. And so within Next Level, we have this term ATM, which means actions that matter.
Right.
And these are the things that you focus your time on. It's like, if you're going to wash the car or buy your wife flowers, you would always buy your wife flowers before you'd wash the car.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
ATMs are the things you always do no matter what happens in your day, because it's the best way to get the ROI you need in your business.
Right.
And you mentioned that. I would love it if you would share with our group the ATMs that you focus on in a given week.
Great. Okay. So this is going to sound a little weird, and the crowd needs to understand that, you need to build it up to be successful. So part of my ATMs is in the morning, I have to get my mind right so I can get my grind right. That means that I work out, and more oftentimes than not, I don't want to do it. Right. So I get up, I work out, I work on my mindset so that I can feel good and project that out into the world. My faith is a super big deal for me. So I put that together first. So that's my first ATM. The second ATM is that I got to prospect at least 2 to 3 hours each and every day, Monday through Thursday, and then from 12 to 3 on Saturdays. That is a non-negotiable. I got to talk to people. I got to ask, hey, how can I help you? And then I got to track my numbers. So that's my second ATM. The third is that I got to put out content continuously for what's actually happening in the market. And then I send it out to my database via Facebook, Instagram, and then I have an email marketing list from people that I've already done business with or that are on the fence. I actually push that out. So I do those ATMs, really consistently Monday through Thursday, and then on Saturday. And then I go to the broker caravans. I actually get in front of people. I make it my mission to let people know I am here. I can help. Whatever you need, I'm here to serve. And I know that sounds very generic and hey, everybody wants a silver bullet, but the reality is that you got to do a few things really well, consistently, track your numbers, and then you'll see what actually comes in. I mean, that's the winning formula for me.
And Shane, we should create a program that does that for people.
Power 90.
Fredo,
what you actually talked about, I'm reading a book again called Good to Great. And one of the strategies in Good to Great, I think it's chapter 5, is the hedgehog strategy versus the fox.
Right.
And I'm probably going to butcher this to some level, but it's about focusing on like one thing, like focusing, like having a very simplistic business model.
Right.
And really digging into being the best at that thing. Right. And then doing it with like a steadiness that is not typically expected in our industry. And I love what you brought up there about it's not anything complex. It's just doing a couple of things. A, with maybe a little caffeine, which you and I both love. B, with a lot of passion.
Yeah.
C, with a lot of authenticity. Right. And then D, with a lot of consistency. And I think picking 3, 4, 5 things, tracking them daily. Right. What you water grows, right? Yeah. And I know, Sean, you and I say this a lot, but what you focus on multiplies and what you water grows. Right. So whether you're focusing on negativity and you're focusing on being inconsistent, you're hanging out with that other lender in town at 2 o'clock, drinking beer, complaining about the market, you will have a beer belly and you will have a bad outlook on the market. If you focus on powerful people, you do powerful activities, you do that with consistency, you hang out at the gym, you start to lose weight. Yeah. Right. And so I think that's something that you brought up that's really a key reminder for the audience is we default to overcomplicating simple things out of I think a lot of fear personally. Right. The market's tanked. I mean, I'm looking here and the largest companies in the nation are in first quarter lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Right. It wasn't like they broke even. They lost like $91 million, another $68 million loss. Right. There's fear. The best way to overcome that fear is with positivity and consistency. Right. And I think you're doing an incredible job. And that's just a reminder to everybody out there is you can live the life Fredo has created. He didn't fall into it. He created that life by some authentic, consistent actions that matter.
Yeah. Hey, Shane, if I can double down on that really quick too. I think right now, because of where the industry is at, I think it's super important to really hone in on what you're passionate about and the audience that you're going after. So there's a guy in the Next Level group, the Mortgage Brewer, that has such freaking that's his thing. And I think when I talked to him at the Dallas event, he brings everybody beer at closing or at the signing or whenever he does it. I'm like, that is freaking genius, right? So I don't believe that there's any wrong way to get business. So if you can go and close 20, 30 deals a month by buying people cocktails at your local bar and that works for you, then do it, right? If it's coffee, like with what I do it. If it's going, if you're the schoolyard, loan officer, do it. Hone in on what actually works for you and then double down on it.
So I think the mortgage brewer during COVID, when everything was shut down, was holding lunch and learns in his garage.
Yeah.
Fredo, you like, if everybody listening, or if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, like when you hear Fredo talk about who he is and what his passions are, like you can see 4 billion% authenticity coming through. So just, man, if you don't like coffee and you don't like the beach, dude, don't go to San Diego. But like,
definitely
find what you're passionate about and what you're doing, and just be that real about it, man. Fredo, I appreciate your conversation today. It's always great to see you. Shane, you want to take us out?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the reality is that anyone can live the life that they want if they make the decision to just be the person that they want to be.
That's it.
And you do that with passion, authenticity, and like, again, if you're not a tech guy, don't be passionate about something that you're not passionate about. It's fake and it never works.
Right.
But find that thing you're passionate about and do it with consistency, do it with passion, do it all the time. Like, again, it's like, I remember one of my coaches said, take massive effing action.
Yeah.
Right. This is a market for those who take massive freaking action to win.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. The most growth comes through times like this. Right. And it's always like darkest before the weather. And then you look at that where the storms come, and then when the storms clear away, especially in San Diego, the weather's gorgeous. And we have an incredible future as an industry, gang, because half the competition will leave. They already are. And when they leave, it thins the herd. There are more opportunities for like-minded people. Surround yourself with a tribe of people like Fredo, like Sean. And if you do that and you're honest, you're authentic, and you grind, you're going to win. And you're going to win. And it's really, really fun on the other side. Guys, if you haven't, go to nlstrategycall.com. Jump on a strategy call. It's free. The cost of membership to Next Level, I think the official term is stupid cheap.
Yeah, you should raise prices for all the value you guys give.
I know, we should. But the reality is our goal is to have a community that is in the thousands, and we surround ourselves with people that are passionate about the same things we are. We all grow. If you don't have that circle, if you don't have people like Fredo in your life, for a very small nominal fee, you can surround yourself with those people.
Right. And if I can say something on that, I was a big skeptic when I first went to the event, and now I'm a true believer. This group provides so much value that it's just insane. You guys really have something special. So again, if you guys are on the fence about actually signing up, I mean, legitimately, I mean, you will win if you get in this group. And I'm a part of many groups, and I would say if it's trash, and it's not. I mean, you guys are freaking awesome.
Well, thanks, man. We love you. We appreciate your time. You're one of the OKGs. Yes. And gang, if you haven't, nlstrategycall.com. Rate us on the podcast. What did you think about Fredo, his energy, the caffeinated connection down in San Diego?
Come on.
We will see you guys on the other side.
All right. See ya.
Bye, y'all.